Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Melting Pot. I am your host, K2. I come to you from the luxurious gravel of my parents' driveway. Why? Because basements aren't much of a thing here in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm riding out this next Gilded Age as trailer trash instead. Hey, I count my blessings. This bitch has 3 slide outs. It's like fucking trailer park mansion, y'all. So, yep, I am the cliche millennial that had to go back and live at home. But you know what I find funny? Like, the traditional value, like family centric people like the Ben Shapiro's or Charlie Kirks of the world, love to shit on people like me, probably on people like you. But what's more traditional than multi generational households? Like family centric cultures have had generational living all throughout history. If anything, current culture bucks the norm. Uh, we have income inequality not seen in 100 years, and Trump tariffs ain't making avocado toast any cheaper. So yeah, I live in a trailer on property owned by my family, right next to my MAGA uncle's trailer. Did I mention this is a socialist podcast? I'm very much a fuck your feelings kind of person when it comes to politics, though. I like guns and shit, but I'm still pro gun laws. I'm kind of an oxymoron wrapped in conundrum, if you will. Mainly because the word enigma makes me feel gross now. Um, in all reality, there's nothing oxymoronic about the idea of like wanting to be left alone and still having a government that protects workers and consumers instead of padding the pockets of oligarchs. I look at it this way: what should you trust more? Government elected by the people that controls the mean of production to benefit said people, ideally, or what we have now, where the means of production own the government to benefit themselves. I'll take the scenario where possible outcome is for the people, not one where the only ever benefit will the ruling class. It's just feudalism disguised as free markets. I think it's time we own some of those damn markets. Like, why do ghouls like Peter Thiel or Larry Fink get to decide everybody's future? I think it's time like that we restore FDR's ladder. The boomers used it, destroyed it before we were old enough to even fucking climb. Now we live in a globalized neoliberal hellscape of planned obsolescence and just-in-time shipping, while the oligarchs assured us that it will trickle down. They stole $80 trillion from 90% of Americans. Meanwhile, 70% of millennials in China own a fucking home. That doesn't make capitalism look too good. Like, so the goal of this podcast is to entertain ideas how to claw back that trillions of dollars stolen from workers and imagine what infrastructure and social programs could exist. Programs that empower humans to better themselves and their neighbors, to explore the boundaries of human capability. I mean, even if we turn every billionaire into a millionaire to do it, okay. Like, is that so bad? To have exponentially more 100,000aires and millionaires? Do people need to be so greedy that that is not enough? To all those people, fuck you. Like, decadence is despicable. It's a despicable thing and should be shamed. Um, we'll talk more about shaming in a second. And don't forget, historically, the decadent often incite pitchforks and torches. Right. Lastly, why the melting pot? Well, I think that our best, most unique qualities as Americans arise from the culture that we have forged together through multiple generations of immigration. I think that, in all likelihood, a Muslim Indian born in Africa is going to run New York City is American as fuck. Like a city that's had one of the longest running case studies on immigration and culture, just did something amazing with Zoran Mamdani, or Zorro Mamdani, as some racist broadcasters would call him. Man, that was such a good branding moment. Zorro, the guy who protects the people from corrupt officials and corporations, shit writes itself. He should still run with that. All right. So those concepts are like the lens this podcast will be looking through when we talk about things like workers' rights and power and about this new fucking gilded age of fascist oligarchs we find ourselves in. Um, which brings me to first segment, which will be a recurring segment I call the War on Workers, and today's topic that no one should forget that Hulk Hogan was a piece of shit. Um, and not for just the racist stuff. That's a whole nother thing. I'm talking about just as far as workers are concerned. You know, Jesse Ventura tried to unionize wrestlers because their work conditions were shit. I don't know if you know anything about their work conditions. Like, they had barely any insurance, if any. They had to show up injuries, whatever, if they wanted to get money. There was nothing like sick leave, you know. They got treated like shit. And so a union would have changed things like that. But Hulk the Rat Hogan told Vince McMahon about everything and just put the kibosh on everything. Had Hulk Hogan been a good person and not, you know, sold out, because he got at WrestleMania, he ended up getting paid more than every other wrestler combined, including Andre the fucking Giant. Like, he made more than all of them. Gee, I wonder why. You know, because he sold everybody out. Like, that's a fucking terrible human being. You know, and so that led to, you know, a work environment that was atrocious, and wrestlers died. You know, like, I to me, that's on Hulk Hogan. You know, so, you know, even in death, I will shame the shameful, which leads me to today's theme: make shaming great again. We've been so accepting for so long that fascists like those wacko Jubilee people that fucking got dug up start feeling comfortable to say the shit out loud. We have crazy ladies throwing Sig Heils, sitting crisscross applesauce full of gut me unce energy, and it's fucking, we need to ridicule these fucks back to the shadows. Like, we need to shame them. And you know what? We want to talk shame? Let's keep it rolling. Anyone who can't call what's happening in Palestine a genocide, fucking shame. Yeah, even Bernie, AOC too, she called it a genocide. Still gave them weapons to genociders. And to all the people, it's just a made up word, man. You know, well, all words are fucking made up. All of them, dipshits. Like, as a species, we saw something so reprehensible that mass murder and ethnic cleansing didn't do it justice. So back then, after the dust settled, we invented the term genocide. And that's the thing Israel is doing right now. We need new Nuremberg trials. That's just the way it is. We do. The ICJ needs to rule that this is a genocide. I know it's just symbolic at this point because they're practically all dead anyway. Because my fascist country has the biggest stick. But for God's sake, like, go on record so that history will remember that we at least called it what it was. You know, that most of us are yelling into the frickin' ether that this is awful. It's just repugnant that the best this world can do for Palestine are meaningless platitudes in the face of annihilation. You know, Palestinian statehood now, cool. You know, statehood of rubble. Thank you. That's so great for them. Like, come the fuck on. And Bibi's butt boy denying FEMA funding to states that don't support genocide. They go so far to say that if the state doesn't curtail citizens from BDS, they might not get that fire relief. They'll better stock up on that fucking Sabra. New Nuremberg trials, for real. Like, this is, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, but like, this is just unbelievable. You know, Wolf Blitzer interviewing Mahmoud Khalil. It's like, do you condemn Hamas? You know what? No, I don't fucking condemn Hamas. How's that? Like, would you condemn Jewish gangs in the Warsaw Ghetto fighting Nazis? Yeah, October 7th was barbaric and awful things happened. But when you treat people like animals, you don't get to play victim when they act like animals. These people have been living in a friggin' apartheid state for decades. For the last 2 decades, they've been living in an open air prison. People Adults have known nothing but having, where they can go controlled, their calories controlled, their water controlled, their electricity controlled, what hospital they can go to controlled, where in the area they can be at any given time controlled. That's second class citizenship. That is definitionally apartheid, and they've been living through it for so long. And then we have the Abraham Accords completely just disregards the Palestinians from the whole equation. Like, what are they to do when, October 7th was a Hail Mary from some of the most oppressed people on earth, forcing us to fucking listen and not disregard them. And does anybody else find the irony that the Houthis are the only militant body that are upholding international law? It's like never again was a bullshit lie. Like the whole thing about after World War II and the depravity and the craziness that we saw was so that, we put these laws in place so it wouldn't happen again, not just for Jews, but for anybody, but these entities have no teeth. Well, what army do they have to go force America or Israel to stop what they're doing? It's just ridiculous. Our world leaders have just proved that it's just a bullshit lie, because that's their job. They need to band together and be all like, no, stop. And the fact that our president is wielding the most influence and is just saying, go ahead, go starve them. It's people freaking on the floor of the Senate saying starve away, just ghouls. Ever since I went to the Holocaust Museum as a kid, I always asked myself, what would I have done? That pile of shoes fucking haunted me, man. If I lived in Nazi-controlled Europe, would the courage of my convictions rise to the occasion? It turns out when the Holocaust is streamed in 4K to our fucking eyeballs, it's easy to be steadfast in those convictions. So to all the Barry Weisses, Ethan Kleins of the world, fuck you. You failed one of the most basic, fundamental tests of human decency. 47% of Israelis think that in a conquered land, all inhabitants, man, woman, child, should be slaughtered. 82% think kicking them all out is justified. That's ethnic cleansing. And those numbers come from Israelis. Like, you go look it up. Like, only way you get those numbers is if you have a concentrated campaign of childhood indoctrination. A curriculum to teach Israelis that Palestinians are less than human and deserve exile or death. I find it ironic that Jews would exile them to the deserts of Egypt. And you know what? That's the same indoctrination that the Knesset claims Hamas does to their children. Projection much? These people need to be shamed. They deserve shame. It almost makes you want to keep people from like that away from general society. Some people might even want to round them up. See where I'm going with this? Israelis have set back the global Jewish cause by decades, because they continue to conflate Judaism and their Zionist project. Here's a general rule of thumb. If Israel is accusing someone of doing something, then Israel are the ones actually doing it. Pretty much always. Anything Benjamin Netanyahu Hitler says is a bald-faced lie. And people like this douche canoe I'm about to show you, radio broadcasters were tried in The Hague for this shit, like this after Nuremberg. All right, so this is some dumbass. Let me get it up here from Fox News, interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu and just glazing him, man. Just doing nothing. Yeah, listen to this. Oh, here we go.
Supplying humanity Palestinians who are fighting Hamas because finally they see that they have a future. They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage.
Okay,
That's got to end.
Are you saying today that you will take control of the entire 26-mile Gaza Strip, as it was 20 years ago to this month in 2005?
Well, we
Where they
don't
were
want to
burning
keep it.
tires
We
to
want to
cook
have a
food.
security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab
No,
forces
we want to demolish
that
it,
will govern it
put up
properly
Trump hotels.
without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life. That's not possible with Hamas. The only way that you're going to have a different future is to get rid of this neo-Nazi army. The Hamas are monsters. Look at what they're doing to our people. Look at what they're doing
You've been
to the way
doing
they
for
massacred,
decades.
raped, beheaded
Not
our
true.
people,
Didn't
our
happen.
men and women, burned our babies.
Didn't
And they
happen.
are really cruel to their own people, because when we try to take them away from the combat zones, they shoot them. They want people to be civilian casualties. They want a starvation policy
Yes,
that
that
they
definitely.
themselves are trying to
Hamas is doing this.
put into being, and we're doing
All
everything to
Hamas.
reverse that. They
Yeah.
have to go. I think President Trump has said it. You know,
This
you have
guy.
to see two things in Gaza. You have to see Hamas eliminated, and you have to have the hostages released. And he's absolutely right.
There were 20
There've
hostages
been
that
multiple times
the
when they
Israelis
were
believe
going
are
to
still
agree,
alive.
and you shot it down, you prick.
And in recent events, the closer the IDF got to them, many of them were killed. Are you prepared for that?
We're doing everything in our power to salvage the hostages. We've, in the beginning, the second day of the war, I think, a senior command official in Israel said, you're going to have to get used to the idea that we're not going to see any of them alive. And I said, no, I don't agree with that. I think with a combination of the right military to rob these food trucks, they're taking the food for themselves.
Here's this.
Put blame on Israel for the interdiction of humanitarian supplies that Hamas is interdicting.
No, not true. Every freaking person, every aid organization says that that's not happening. That even Israel's own numbers show that the amount of food aid that Hamas is getting ever since the beginning of this was like no more than like 8%. You're not letting trucks in, you fucking liar.
And Israel is the international community is delivering the blame to Israel. They're doing everything to rob these food trucks. They're taking the food for themselves and then jacking up the price for the remaining supplies to their own population.
No. Actually, you know who's doing that? The freaking Al-Shabaab people who are ISIS, who you are freaking giving money to and freaking guns to do said thing that you're talking about. So fuck off.
And that's monstrous.
We have seen some of that, and you're right about that. And you're also right that we went into Gaza while we've been here this week, and we were in this.
Like I said, if he calls somebody a monster, then he's actually the monster.
Southern town of Rafah, near the Sinai Desert in Egypt, and that town has been flattened.
Where they were not supposed to go, the ICJ ruled that they were not to go into Rafah. It was a red line for Biden. Yeah, sure. Yeah, some red line.
And
look
you
have been accused of genocide.
Fucking
How do you respond to that?
Well, if as Ambassador Huckabee said, if we're practicing genocide, we're surely doing a very bad job of it.
Oh yes, let's listen to the freaking evangelical freaking goon that wants to bring forth the rapture. Yes, let's listen to that paragon of truth and accurate
because we could have
unbelievable
basically eliminated the entire population of Gaza, but we went the other direction. We did something that no army in history ever did.
No, bunches of armies have completely demolished everything and completely killed almost everybody. That's happened a lot. You literally talked about it with the whole, freaking Sons of Amalek.
Supplying humanitarian food to the enemy's population because we distinguish between combatants and non-combatants. We put in 2 million.
The difference between non-combatants and combatants. Everybody's a combatant. If they don't leave this area, they are combatant. Period. Oh, wow. Now, the last 25%, is now going to be occupied. Where do they go? Where does anybody go? It's Nuremberg.
Tons of food.
New trials.
I mean, if we wanted to commit genocide, we wouldn't give 2 million tons of food to the population.
You did not.
And also, the reason you see the flattened buildings is because Hamas.
They're crushing people with food drops. you know, and telling the people up in the air to not take pictures of the destruction, as if satellites don't fucking exist.
Us booby traps every single building. So when we come in, we first
That is
have the
such, I
population.
can't even with this guy. Oh my God. So they just booby trap every building and just destroy everything. If they, those are their homes, dude. Like, God, what an evil prick. Evil fucking prick. That's, yeah, I, seriously. And this guy, just no pushback at all. Nothing. Just letting him just spew vile nonsense and just nothing. Friggin' seriously, literally, people were radio broadcasters were tried at the Hague, literally. Like, and then this next one we have Mike Johnson going to the occupied West Bank, trying to self-fulfill prophecy with his stupid fucking, you know, 5 red heifers and shit. Let me show you this freaking nonsense. Yeah, freaking ridiculous.
Hi, I'm Mike Johnson. I'm the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States Congress. We are so blessed to be here at ancient Shiloh, as they say here. We had a number of members of Congress here to pray. We prayed for our nation and for peace in Jerusalem, peace for Israel. And we're so grateful to be joined by all of our...
Israel. What about peace for Palestine? What, I love how we never talk about peace for Palestine when they were the ones whose land was stolen and then stolen again and then stolen again and continually being stolen right now. So yes, let's peace for Israel, for the bullies. Peace for the bullies, people. Come on. What are we doing here? Let's have bullies for peace. Let's go. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, of coming here. Here's a place of prayer, the place that speaker took place of prayer, and we bless you for here, you and President Trump and United States of America, to stay strong together. Israel, United States, we have to defeat the axis of evil.
Yes.
I think that was axis of evil because, as we already, we covered, they're giving money to ISIS, so they're cool with ISIS, and apparently we're cool with Al Qaeda now. So pretty soon we're gonna be cool with like all of them as long as they give enough money and buy enough Trump coin. Probably.
You connected to our roots here. Thank you for that, and I sure
because fuck Palestinian roots.
That together we will build a better future for the whole entire world.
Amen.
That doesn't have Palestinians in it. Let me finish that for you.
Thank you so much.
Boo. Fucking joke. Here, you wanna show you these 5 red heifers. Yep. There they are, 5 red heifers that are like legal to import, actually, which was a special thing that did into Israel because there's like a ban on that shit. And you know what's funny is like one of them already isn't like perfect. It has like super like pristine, probably impossible because that's kind of how prophecies a lot of times work. They have impossible contingencies, so people just believe it forever and ever and ever. Yeah, wild. It's like Christians and Zionists it's just crazy. Like the Christians want to bring forth the rapture. The Zionists want to sacrifice all those friggin' heifers to friggin', get their Messiah. They're literally like mortal frenemies walking hand in hand into the fucking apocalypse. Seriously, faith is the strongest human conviction, to a fault. Well, only through faith has the powerful been able to retain the amount of power to facilitate these crazy Bronze Age rituals. Only through faith can Donald Trump still have followers. Like, y'all see Tim Cook giving our special little boy a gold star, a participation trophy, if you will, aka a bribe for tariff carve-outs. Like, we are living in the craziest timeline. You just check here. It's fucking wild.
This bond was made in the U.S., California, and this flag comes on the morning line. It's engraved for President Trump. It's a unique
What sick of
one. It was designed by a U.S. Marine Corps corporal, a former one, that works at Apple now.
It's good. He's done well.
Designed it for you.
cool.
And the base,
The military in there. The military loves you, Donald Trump. Love you.
and it's 24 karat gold. And it sits, I'll take the liberty of setting it up.
I'm sure the Mormons love you too.
Congratulations,
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
President.
It's
Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
And actually, the Mormons
please.
are actually like way more like actually have usually like more morality actually. So maybe they don't like Trump. It's like Glenn Beck. He's a fucking Trump sycophant, and he probably wears that freaking Mormon underwear. He's a freaking psycho too. All right, what do we got next? Yeah, it's just wild. Yeah, you remember our worries back during the Trump 1.0 days? Quid pro quos and perfect phone calls sounding pretty good right about now. But now we have Gestapo thugs rounding up some of our most favorite humans. Who? I'm talking about our tamale abuelas. Yeah, they're fucking, yo, there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing the tamale abuela come up and knowing that I have cash in my pocket. It's a sad day when I do not have cash in my pocket. And these motherfuckers are like tackling them. Here, check it. It's crazy. I actually said like a month ago, like they start taking our freaking tamale abuelas and we're gonna be rioting. I was joking, but they went there. All right, yeah, here we go. For 10 years, Matilde has been selling tamales at the same location by Lowe's on Paxton Street in Pacoima, working hard to live the American dream and support her family. But on June 19th, her life was turned upside down when several unmarked vehicles arrived with masked men wearing United States Border Patrol tactical gear. Matilde was fixing her umbrella when the first car arrived, and suddenly men came running towards her without asking any questions, without presenting a warrant. The federal immigration agents began grabbing the 54-year-old using force to detain her. 54-year-old abuela. Awesome, guys. A man grabbed her from behind, she said, with his arms around her waist and his body weight pressing into her. Matilde started having difficulty breathing. Meanwhile, another man in front of her grabbed her hands. I told him about 2 or 3 times, I can't breathe, Matilde recounted. But the guy behind me grabbed my waist, pulled tighter. Like, this is crazy. You guys can go check this out and read the whole thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but, like, who the fuck are these people? Like, again, shame. Just shame. Like, I just don't know any other way to friggin' go about it. All right, we're going to wrap this one up with another recurring segment. I call this segment the Socialista Weekly. Why? Because, I don't know, anytime you talk about socialist stuff, it makes it seem like way more spooky if you say it in Spanish. I guess it makes it maybe like way more Che Guevara-esque maybe. But so what spooky thing are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about public fruit trees. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's pretty freaking awesome, actually. So let's check it out.
Carbono e ajudar ao clima, né? Parque como esse faz a cidade, né, poder enfrentar
Hear it very
as
well,
suas
but he's
ilhas de
speaking
calor.
Spanish anyway.
Você oferece, né, alimentos, né, para as
I mean, it's
pessoas,
awesome.
né?
Just walking down the road, grab a fucking peach, well, an apple, cool. I like plums.
que o grande ganho que a gente tem aqui,
And
além
it's,
do ambiental que é
for everybody.
indiscutível, é da gente poder resgatar frutas que não
I
são
think
mais
New
comerciais,
Zealand is doing
são
this. I
joias
think
da
even
nossa Mata
Philadelphia.
Atlântica que
Shout
se
out to my
perderam ao
Philly
longo do
peeps. That's
tempo
pretty
pelo
fucking
crescimento
sweet.
das cidades. Então, aqui,
This
no
happened
Parque
actually
Público,
somewhere
as
in
pessoas vão
America,
poder usar.
or it was. It's been a while, so I don't know. It's kind of getting ruined by now. All the good things get ruined. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little nihilistic. I have hope. We got that Zoran copium up in here. I've got hope. Yeah, hopium rather. All right. So like, I just think that's awesome. There's having public fruit trees, like it's freaking sweet. And I'm sure people are like, well, people will take the fruit. Well, yeah, and you know what? They'll probably then sell it on the corner. They'll take what's everybody's and try to sell it back to us for a profit, and we call that capitalism. And thus, I go back to the full circle and shame those people. People who live in opposition to altruistic goals of society should 100% be shamed. Like that's just the moral of today. Shame people who deserve it. So, all right, guys, like, subscribe. This was the first outing of the Melting Pot with K2. I hope you liked it. There'll be more, even if I'm shouting into the void at nobody. It's something to do. So, yeah. So, you guys stay well, my friends.